Okay, we're going to talk about managing loss. I mentioned this when I explained the change experience, that really what we're managing is managing loss. We're not managing change, people. I mean, we are, but what I've learned and what I keep coming back to time and time again as I'm teaching people how to really do this work well, whether that's in our practitioner classes or one-to-one coaching, or if I'm doing consulting with people, is what we're really doing, what we're really up against is the loss. And in the change experience, when we have the event, and whether it's we're getting ready to, or we're at the change event and people are experiencing loss, this is where our work begins. And honestly, it's the greatest opportunity we have to make a difference and make our changes successful. And we have to put on a very serious intentional lens about loss, because we're managing people, we're managing human beings. And human beings, how our brains work, we actually fear losing more than we enjoy gaining. We're going to work really hard to avoid loss at all costs. It's called loss aversion. We have an aversion to losing things. We have a very strong desire to hold on to what is. Fascinatingly enough, we even hold on to things that aren't good for us. We hold on to things we don't like. Have you ever tried to start journaling or start a health program or quit smoking, whatever? We know it's good for us, but we fear, we resist letting go of what we know twice as much. So it's illogical, but human beings aren't logical. It's irrational. Yeah, human beings are quite irrational. It seems like if I'm going to get something, that I'm willing to give up something to get it, but that's not how our brains work. And as change people, we got to understand this psychology, because it impacts how people respond to our change. It impacts how they show up, and it impacts what you're really managing and what you're really leading people through. You are not leading people through an email upgrade, right? You are leading people through awkwardness, discomfort, and a learning curve. That's where you're going to get held up. And in order to do this well, we want to understand, what do people actually fear? What do they fear most? And people they fear losing anything that's important to them. And so this is where change gets you into a mess. Leadership gets you out. Understanding what's important to each person that's impacted, that's a leadership job. But things, and we can figure it out, right? We can anticipate when people lose things, like if a decision is made to change something, and the person who has an effect on me, whether it's my boss, my team, it's close to me. If they're close to me, they're important to me. And I'm going to view it as a loss. Who will I work with? Do I have access to? Who will see me? How visible am I? What am I going to do? Right? What skills do I need? Can I be successful? All the things that are important to your individuals that work in your teams, that's important to me. If you touch those as a result of your change, you're going to trigger fear, because people are afraid to lose that stuff. I like to break down losses in kind of 3 buckets, right? What do we lose at work? Work-related losses, maybe. What do we lose at work? So first bucket, I call identity. Who am I? Our identities lie in our heart. And these are, in these buckets, these are the things that if your change and your project is going to create a loss of this to anyone, you can anticipate resistance, and you have work to do to help them set that down and grab onto your future state. It doesn't mean that you don't do the change. You don't change your business decision. You just got to help these people. You got to lead them through this, and you have to do that in a way that is caring, empathetic, and understanding. And you can anticipate it, because it's kind of, you've made a decision. If you think about who's impacted, you can anticipate what they're losing. And if you anticipate what they're losing, you can anticipate how they're feeling. If you can anticipate how they're feeling, you can show up as a good leader to help them and see them and acknowledge and validate them, right? So in identity, power, influence, control. At work, that boils down to who has the people, who has the budget, and who has the money. Oh, wait, budget and money are the same. Who has the people, who has the budget, and who gets to decide. That's how power, influence, and control is distributed in our businesses. If you make a decision and give someone else power, someone else influence, someone else control, someone the people, someone the budget, someone the decision right authority, the person who used to have it is going to experience a loss. They are not going to like it. They're going to be mad. They're going to be disappointed. They're going to be frustrated. They're going to have all sorts of feelings. They might be swearing at you. Who knows? It depends on their personality and how much they've lost. Right? You got to help them with that. You can anticipate that. The other thing we lose in M&A space is corporate identity. It matters to people where they work. I don't know what percentage of the world has an automatically deposited check, but when you shut your eyes and you see your paycheck, you see a logo in the corner, don't you? Try it. And that company, that logo, that means something to you. And when it changes, it's a loss. It's a loss that entirely goes unacknowledged, right? We never say, oh, you're probably missing that. We never say, oh, you're having a bad day. You must be mourning the loss of your corporate identity today. Has anyone ever said that to you? But the truth is, waking up in the morning and having a closet full of polos that used to say whatever company that got acquired and wondering what am I going to wear to work today is a loss for people. Is it a big one? No. Does it matter? Absolutely. Our identity lives in our heart. Telling grandma at Thanksgiving that we work for the place we're proud to work and we don't work there anymore is a loss for people. And we got to see it as such. Another loss is subject matter expertise. When we change things and we give people new tools and new systems, and they no longer are the person who has the answers, can answer questions quickly, has the history, has the context, is a go-to person, that's a loss. And when they lose a sense of where we're going, what this company's about, what our brand is, what our value is, what our purpose is, if that gets confused in your change, that's a loss for people. Okay, I want to bounce the other side, the productivity side. A lot of system changes, operational changes, process changes are going to result in losses to the things in the productivity bucket. My routine, my knowledge, my tool efficiency, my process works. I can scale. I know exactly what we're doing. I have clarity around how to get there. I call this kind of the annoying bucket, like annoying bucket. If I have new tools and I got to now share this with someone, or I got to figure out how to use this replacement to Zoom, or I got to do dual entry for a while, right? That's not going to kill me, but it's annoying. And I think we make a big mistake of assuming that people can tolerate annoying forever, right? It really is quite taxing and it wears people out. Get people to tools and systems that are shared. Make those investments. Help them, like, get rid of the annoying, right? Get your tools optimized. Have the process meetings. Get the lean people involved. Get it to work so that people can get the knowledge. They can establish routine. And you don't have to spend energy every day trying to figure out things that used to work, because that's going to become a huge source of resentment. Honestly, see it all the time when I work with clients. Okay. And then the third bucket, and it is my, like my children, I have a favorite, not really, relationships. I believe one of the most costly things that people lose when we change things are our relationships. When we reorganize and we restructure, we get a new boss, we get a new team, we bring people in, we combine teams, whatever it is, we change people's relationship, and a change in a relationship is a loss, huge productivity loss. It's because our work happens through our relationships. Productivity happens through our relationships. If I have an issue and I call someone that I've worked with and I have a relationship with them and I trust them and they answer the phone, they know why I'm calling, they anticipate my needs, they help me quickly, that's productive, isn't it? Now compare that post a change where I have the same issue and I don't know who to call. I don't even know who to call. That's less productive, isn't it? Or I call the person, they let me go to voicemail because they don't know me. They don't know why I'm calling. Less productive, isn't it? We change things all the time that disrupt and shift people's relationships. And therefore we disrupt and shift our ability to be productive. And I'm not saying we shouldn't reorganize things. That's not the point. The point is we need to invest in helping people build relationships. How do we create an environment and be intentional about getting people together, helping them build relationships, and helping them build trust so that we can get work done? That's what we need. We need people who know and trust each other and hand the baton and grab the next one and get things done. That's where we want to live. Not in a world where everybody has to stand around looking at each other. We don't even know where to put the baton. Not productive. Okay, the other relationship things, visibility, who sees me, who sponsors me, influence, right? Who's going to listen to me, connections and network. Who do I know around here that would support me? When those things change, you have a loss. And the thing about loss, because you're an employee in the company, the first thing you want to ask yourself in our go see exercise is, what have you lost? You are employee first, and you are not immune to the things that get lost when things change. So ask yourself on this list, maybe think of one project and take some time and reflect, what have I lost? And then take a minute and think about someone else. What are they losing? In our full change course, we get into the next step of this, which is thinking about if they've lost that, how are they feeling and what do we do about that, right? How can we acknowledge and validate and help them? But just for now, just start to see and notice what people are losing. What are we creating for them? And then start to build, that puts you in a place to start to think about how do we help them? Okay, that's what I've got for you in this lesson.